أصبح للمدينة برنامج ديربورن شو، أسبوعيا ساعة مباشرة من وسط المدينة، يتضمن العديد من الفقرات والمسابقات بالإضافة إلى المواضيع اليومية والاجتماعية والعديد من الضيوف.
Welcome back to the Dearborn Show with me, Ninat Kairouz. I'm really very happy to have with us Mr. Bilal Hammoud. He's the Executive Director of the American Arab Chamber of Commerce and a well-renowned Dearborn resident and politician, activist, and advocate. So, Bilal, welcome to the show. Marhaba.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Thank you for being with us. We're going to talk about so many things. But first of all, tell me a little bit more about what your relationship with the city, since this is a show, about the city and to the people of the city. Tell me your relationship with Dearborn, since you are in, advocacy and politics. What made you love this field, and what makes you, bond with it so much?
Well, the city of Dearborn, what more is there to say besides look at our people? This is my hometown. And one of the things I love about this city is it really is the home of the middle class, the home of innovation, the home of entrepreneurship. And so in all my capacities, I know that this city serves as a pillar and as a center point for the growth and success of the Arab American community. And so as we work to empower and uplift this community, me personally, I've fallen in love, right? This is where my family is, my cousins, my friends, where I went to school. And I know the potential. And so I want to invest in that potential because I know the long-term goals that we've set. And this is the city where magic is going to happen. So it's a special place. And you'll quickly know from the people, from the food, from the hospitality, it's unrivaled by any other city in this country.
I can already see that. I'm from DC, so I'm a newcomer, and you're going to have to guide me through. That's what I've been telling.
Welcome, Ninat. We're happy to have you.
Thank you. But why? I mean, you mentioned so many beautiful things about the city, its spirit, the food, the community, so much potential, you said. Why did you choose to pursue advocacy? You're a first generation Arab American, your family's from Lebanon. Did it have to do anything with the fact that, you come from a place, I come from the Middle East too, where really politics doesn't play any vital role or positive role, and is polluted with bad reputation? And is it, for instance, because you think you can actually make a change here? I mean, why choose advocacy versus so many other things?
I don't know any countries or regions in which politics doesn't have a bad reputation.
Good point.
I really decided to pursue this kind of route, not with any sort of direct intentionality, but with the understanding from seeing how my parents tried to raise me, my three younger sisters, and start a family and grow a business in this city. They faced a lot of challenges. You come in as a first-generation immigrant, and there is institutional barrier after barrier, generational gaps that exist in both knowledge and resource access. I mean, the list goes on. But I knew from a young age that we deserved a seat at the table, and we deserved to have those resources so that we could thrive. And so for me, when I saw that there was a gap to be filled, I went after it. And this took on many different forms throughout the years, whether it was environmental justice, whether it was voting rights access to get people civically engaged, whether it's when I ran for office in 2022. Yes. That was my attempt at seeing the gaps in the system and wanting to solve them from an institutional perspective, right? Changing the laws and proposing policies that would really set the precedent for how this state could operate. And it was something that I wanted to do to serve this community. Again, my hometown, knowing and wanting to serve it in a greater capacity. And at the end of the day, regardless of what role or occupation I've taken, it has always been with that North Star. How can I serve this community? How can I ensure it grows? And how can I ensure that all people from all backgrounds have a seat at the table and bring that voice to the voiceless, whether it's through political means, advocacy means, or economic means. And so something that is a lesson I learned from my parents and wanted to continue on in my work.
Well, I think the American Arab Chamber of Commerce is very lucky to have you. All of this experience that you bring to them. Could you Could you tell us a little bit more, how you're sharing this experience with them? What is it that the chamber is doing currently? What is it that you're doing as a VP? And I believe you have an event coming up. You also wanted to discuss several things. How can we, as we say, how can we in English, tell people really what we're doing, what you're doing?
Oh, it's a great question. So to give you some background, the American Arab Chamber of Commerce has been around for about 32 years. And so quite some time, and taken on various roles throughout those years, uplifting this community economically, politically, and over time hosting grand events like the Arab Economic Forum. This was a major event that brought in thousands of dignitaries, ambassadors, diplomats, everybody you could think of, to discuss relationships and trade between the Middle East and this country. And that wasn't just Detroit, that was in Texas, that was in DC, and that was something that really cemented that institutional role that the chamber played. And then throughout the years, it served various roles as well, including hosting the Arab American Festival, which used to bring in tens of thousands of people to the city and just showcase what it is to have the Dearborn spirit. Now, the chamber has taken on a lot of new direction. I took over at the beginning of this year, and it's been an opportunity to showcase that not only do Arab Americans have a seat at the table, but they bring value to each of these industries and communities in which they operate in. And so uplifting that narrative and showcasing the different businesses, the different spaces in which we operate, and creating new partnerships. That's at that high level. At the local level, we're giving back. So taking these connections with folks like the NFL, right? We had the NFL draft come to town, major event for the city of Detroit.
Sure.
And the surrounding communities were partners. And so this is the first time any major sport institution intentionally partnered with an Arab American organization. And so we advocated hard to ensure that Arab American businesses were featured at that table. And we did successfully get 8 Arab businesses to be featured, 10 supporting. And the beauty of it was 2 of those businesses went on to be the top 2 revenue generating businesses for the entire draft, which not only is amazing for them, but it makes us look good. As a community, shows we can operate at these levels and not just do well, but lead. And that means now the next draft and the next opportunity, we have partnerships there. And so we can ensure that at this institutional level, Arab Americans are going to be present. And that's what this is about.
As a chamber, I mean, I know you're focused on, the local city, the state and everything, but do you have aspirations, because it's American Arab, after all, do you have, within these economic, initiatives and everything you've mentioned, do you have aspirations to go beyond Michigan?
We are. So the chamber is a national organization. It is one of the largest just ethnic chambers of commerce in the country, but expansion is needed. As we see these communities pop up and grow across the country, we want to ensure that they get the support they need and just connecting them with each other. Because like you said, you're from DC.
Yes.
There are Arab pockets in DC, in Houston, in New York, in California, everywhere. Chicago, just connecting those 2 communities together brings so much value. And that's what we're trying to do, is build those networks and bridges to ensure that they can collaborate, learn from each other, and offer mentorship, guidance for these individuals who are younger and trying to grow through the community. And so as we continue to grow and as we continue to expand, one of the ways we seek to do that and really cement that institutional growth is through our Tijara program. This is a really fun.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Tijara is commerce, right? Translates to commerce.
Yes, of course. That's what it means in Arabic.
And so the goal of the Tijara program is to be an incubator and accelerator for first and second generation immigrant-owned businesses. And that means we provide all the support you could ask for, from startup to growth, to franchising to expansion for a business. And that's
including
because
funding or help getting funding?
Both. So
Both.
The idea is
that's great.
It's needed, because what is our community but driven commerce at heart?
Entrepreneurs.
Truly. And so how do we ensure that when they come to this country or they've been here, they have those institutional resources, those gaps in funding, the resources that they need to connect, whether it's education, staffing. There's so many gaps that can exist that can stifle that entrepreneurial spirit. So we want to make that as seamless as possible and take down those barriers to entrepreneurship. And so that means all startup support. If you're a business trying to get your LLC, your accounting support, your operation costs, all that will cover up to like $1,500, and then offer programs and workshops and guidance to get you to that next level
where do you get your support from? Do you feel you're well supported by the city, by the state, by the government?
Very much so. So thankfully, a lot of this work is made possible through the state. We have a grant that allows us to do not only this, but provide the seed funding and ensure that these businesses can thrive, not just short term, but long term. But we, of course, have great partners at the county level, here in Wayne County. At the city level, Mayor Hammoud and his team have been phenomenal in ensuring the growth of not only our programs, but this chamber and the work that we're trying to do. And internationally, we have partners that help us bring in some of those international businesses to ensure that international partnerships and relationships can form so that more opportunities can thrive. And that's something that the chamber's excelled in for many years.
Wow, this is such a big job and a big role. And
well, we have
like
a team.
you said, you just joined them the beginning of the year, which is also a critical year. It's an election year, so I'm sure you're working on different fronts and you're doing so many things. And you're a young man, and at a time of we're witnessing, in everywhere, almost everywhere, in so many countries, including America, older candidates running for presidency, older people in government, less interest from the youth in politics, except for France maybe, where we see so many young people. A word of advice for the youth, any inspiration, any encouragement to, join your journey and do that kind of work? Because I honestly see, especially from maybe whether they're immigrants, first generation, or even Americans, there's less interest in giving back and community work and advocacy. So what do you have to say to these people?
That's a good question. What is there to say besides you see the need for representation? You know why it's important for us to take our seat at the table, because it's never going to be given to us. So to ensure that we're always at the table, you have to push. And that means running for office when you feel confident and comfortable in your community. It means serving in advocacy roles and always finding a way to be civic minded, whether you're a business owner, whether you're an individual who's looking to pursue a profession like doctoring or engineering or being an attorney. Use your role, use the work that you've been able to accomplish to A, find ways to engage civically, and B, and this is the big thing, reach back down. Make sure give back. Make sure this pipeline of talent is sustainable, because it has to exist beyond the generation or the second generation. Because if you're the first at something, congrats, mabruk, you were the first. But if you were the last as well, then you did a disservice to your community.
Yes.
And so to ensure that this is sustainable, give back, be a mentor, be willing to give back in that way.
And educate, right? Spread the culture of, which is a little bit not a strength in our community, which is helping each other.
Yeah.
Let go of personal jealousies and envies and stick together, because, in union you have more power and strength for all.
Exactly
right?
that. And one thing I'll leave you with, you're never too young to mentor, right? Whether you're in high school, whether you're in middle school, you can always find someone who's looking.
Just to confirm what I said, because this is America. When I said young, this was a very positive compliment. This is not, an ageist thing, or such as young people cannot do this and can do that. But on the contrary, inspirational that, politics is not necessarily something you wait till you're 60 or advocacy to do. So this was very well meant.
Of course.
Just in case.
No, understood.
And we're not done yet. You want to tell me more about the Mezza Festival that's coming up?
So we have
I see you have some things with you here. Are these, what do you have?
We have these
I'm not cooking.
Custom-made aprons.
I'm not
that
the typical Middle Eastern. I can't cook. You don't want me to cook. What is that?
So this showcases our Mezza Fest event. We had a cooking show go up not too long ago, where we showcase one of the local businesses that'll be participating.
Oh, that's so cute.
But Mezza Fest, what is it? It's first of its kind, focused on highlighting these businesses in the Dearborn, in the city of Dearborn.
Are these like food and beverages businesses only?
Most of them are, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And so for this, it's an idea of East West Mezza Fest, right? It's a culinary tour of this city. So you'll take a trolley going up and down East and West Dearborn, bringing the two halves together and showcasing each of the different businesses that exist. So cafes, food, snacks, everything along the way. Because
Okay.
the goal is to highlight that not only do they have Mediterranean food that is delicious, but they do American food quite well.
Yes.
Yemeni food, Lebanese food, Egyptian, all backgrounds. And so it'll be a fun way to engage and sample all these different foods so people can try all these different restaurants. There's not an opportunity like this to be able to sample a little bit of everything.
No.
So this
it's
is going to
like
be a fun
food
way.
fusion under the Middle Eastern cuisine, yet diverse and rich and beyond these borders. When is it coming up?
Friday, so
This
this upcoming
Friday?
Friday, September 13th, it'll be from 5 to 9. So you come, you buy a wristband, and for the rest of the time, you can go and try all the different restaurants.
And it's a one night, one time
One
event.
night,
for
one
that
day
evening.
event, limited tickets. So we're trying to make sure that folks
Where
who really
can
want
they
to
get
do
the
this.
tickets and the bracelet, and where is it? I mean, any specific location? Again, I'm from DC, so when you
that's
say
right.
when you say East and West, where are they going to go? Maybe they understand, but
So online, of course, you can go to the Eventbrite on our website, AmericanArab.com.
Okay.
There'll be a link to the event.
okay.
And then day of, if you're coming into town and looking to purchase, we'll be at the Civic Center, so the Ford Performing Arts Center,
Okay.
and in West Dearborn downtown near the Farmers Market. You'll be able to pick up wristbands there, buy them on the spot, and bring your families, because this is meant to be a family-friendly event.
I'm sure, of course. I mean, this sounds really like a fun event, and spreading culture,
Exactly.
spreading warmth and laughs. But it's really not going to go anywhere if I don't test you on your meza information. Are you
Oh,
ready?
I hope
Are you
so.
a fan of meza? Because
Of
I mean,
course.
you should be.
I
So,
grew up with it. I would
do you
hope
have
so.
do you have a favorite? Is it hummus or baba ganoush?
So, controversial opinion.
Yeah. Let's see.
I love all Mediterranean food. Big fan. When I was a kid, I went to grab you're at the wedding table, there's lots of plates going around. I went to grab for the hummus. Took a big bite, so excited, it was baba ganoush. You know, that smoky flavor, you're
Yeah.
not expecting it.
Yeah.
I did not like baba ganoush at the time.
As kids, we tend not to.
It took me a while to grow the accustomed taste, but for me, hummus is pure. It's
So
the
it's
best. I keep.
Okay, and name 2 ingredients in the hummus.
If you're doing it right, there's toum or hammoud.
Garlic
And
and,
of-
onion,
of
of course.
garlic and
garlic
onion.
and lemon.
And lemon. And then, of course, you have the tahina, the hummus itself.
You pass.
I'm just going to name all the ingredients. Add some salt, 2 tablespoons, and then you'll be good.
You pass. You pass. And do you prefer tabbouleh or fatouche? That's not necessarily a meza. It's a salad, but
Oh, that's
what's your preference?
both phenomenal. I think I would go with tabbouleh just because
Yeah,
it's my
me
type
too.
of specialty.
And garlic or onion
Garlic.
in salads? Garlic.
Garlic.
Okay. All
In
right.
salads, that's interesting.
In
Garlic
salads,
across
right?
the board.
Garlic-
In salads,
But in salads, right?
I could
mean,
see the onion playing as the winner, but
Yeah.
no, definitely garlic across the board can't go wrong.
And bread or bread? Right?
Let's see, carbs or carbs? Always carbs.
Bread. I mean, we're bread lovers, right?
That's right.
Okay, well, Bilal, thank you so much. Is there anything that you would like to add to the people watching us about the event or anything else specifically?
No, tune in. We're going to be having a lot of fun this day. And then some events coming up. Our gala is coming up October 25th. We have a big soccer match that we'll be hosting alongside the Detroit City Football Club. That'll be an Arab night with a lot of dancing and culture. And that'll be Sunday, September 22nd. So lots of fun events, so tune in for that. And I just
And
got
we'd love to have you back again with us. Maybe you'll get a chance to discuss more of these
I would love
events
to.
as they
I got to
come
say,
along.
congratulations on this inaugural show. What a phenomenal way to highlight the city, all of its people, its cultures, its food, its economics, everything.
And for
I
me
love
to
this
learn
idea.
about the city,
Yeah.
right, as a newcomer. Like, it's a good debriefing.
Yeah. No, thank you for being a phenomenal host and all the work that you all have done.
Thank you for being with us again.
Of
Thank
course.
you, everyone, for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll be back. We still have one more guest with us today. Thanks.